On the other side of the Capitol, senators focused on President Trump's power to launch a nuclear war. Nick Schifrin reports on this critical chain of command.
In a world full of threats, Senate Democrats today asked whether the biggest threat is in the White House.
Donald Trump can launch nuclear codes just as easily as he can use his Twitter account.
The United States' nuclear command structure was born out of the Cold War.
The Soviets continue to develop and deploy strategic offensive nuclear forces.
Pentagon videos describe the Soviet threat as imminent. The president needed to be able to launch nuclear weapons quickly in case the U.S. was being attacked. Tennessee Republican Bob Corker.
This process means the president has the sole authority to give that order.
Today, the threat comes from North Korean intercontinental ballistic missiles. U.S. intelligence predicts they could soon carry a nuclear warhead. President Trump has threatened preventive war.
They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen.
Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime.
Many Americans share my fear that the president's bombastic words could turn into nuclear reality.
The president has the sole authority to launch nuclear weapons, but that doesn't mean he can launch a weapon for no reason whenever he wants, said Duke professor Peter Feaver, who's studied nuclear command for 30 years.
Where the military wakes up the president and warns him that there is about to be an attack, or that we're experiencing attack, he alone would have the authority to make the decision. But in the other context, where the president's waking up the military, maybe in an extreme funk, saying, I'm angry and I want something done, in that setting, he requires the cooperation of a lot of people.
That cooperation wouldn't be forthcoming if his order were illegal, said retired General Robert Kaler, the former head of U.S. Strategic Command.
The United States military doesn't blindly follow orders. A presidential order to employ U.S. nuclear weapons must be legal. The basic legal principles of military necessity, distinction, and proportionality apply to nuclear weapons just as they do to every other weapon.
Maryland Democrat Ben Cardin.
You believe that because of legalities, you retain that decision to disobey the commander-in-chief?
Yes. If there is an illegal order presented to the military is obligated to refuse to follow it.
Today's hearing was called by Senate Republicans, but many of them urged extreme caution. They said the U.S.'s adversaries needed to understand the president is still the sole person able and is still willing to use nuclear weapons.
We cannot have a bunch of bunker lawyers that basically, or activists up and down the chain who decide that they're going to disobey any order that they disagree with.
Pyongyang needs to understand that they are dealing with a person who's a commander-in-chief right now who is very focused on defending this country, and he will do what is necessary to defend this country.
Democrats have introduced legislation that would limit the president's nuclear authority. Some today question whether sound legal advice would prevail in a nuclear weapons discussion. Massachusetts Democrat Ed Markey questioned whether presidential advisors, current and former generals, could constrain the president.
I don't think we should be relying upon a group of individuals to be resisting an illegal order when they have all pretty much been hired by the president.
A short time ago, an American airplane dropped one bomb on Hiroshima.
Since President Harry Truman became the only person ever to have ordered a nuclear strike, U.S. law said only a president should carry the nuclear responsibility. But today, that singular authority is being questioned. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Nick Schifrin.